Good day, y'all. So it's Boxing Day. I'm doing my first little chat here with Kyla, the twin of Chloe, who you already met on our walk on the horse. How you doing today, Kai?
I'm alright. I'm
Yeah.
very tired.
What's your thoughts on Christmas?
I love Christmas, but I don't love when there's like 50 people in the house.
Yeah. What do you love about Christmas?
Like when we're all in the living room opening presents and everyone's just happy. That's nice.
Happiness is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your favorite holiday? Or what's your favorite holiday?
Summer, because it's off the longest.
No, I mean I don't mean your time off school. I mean, what's your favorite celebration of the year?
Yeah, Christmas, because I don't really
Christmas.
care about anything else. Like, I don't care about Easter or Halloween. I mean, I'll like go out for it and stuff with friends and stuff, but like, I don't actually care about it.
So,
But I love
what
Christmas.
New Year's do you like? New Year's too?
Yeah, but that's not really like. I guess it kind of is.
Or you always lump it all together?
I think I'd lump Christmas and New Year's together.
Well, and do you have any aspirations for the new year?
Read a book a week, because since school started, at the beginning of school I would read a book a week, but then I had all of my tests in a 4-week span.
Right.
Like 2 tests a week, 2 tests per week, maybe 3, for 4 weeks straight. So I barely picked up a book, but now I can read. So
What's your favorite genre? What kind of genres do you like of book? Books.
I started off in romance. I still love it, but I love dystopian novels.
What does dystopian novels mean?
It's like a world where everything's basically gone bad, like The Hunger Games or Divergent, or stuff like that, or The Giver, like all that stuff.
And so, I'm envious of you guys being able to read quickly. I can't read very fast.
I wouldn't say I read quickly. I'd say you read very, very slow, but I read slow. Like Chloe, she finished a whole book yesterday.
I know,
Like
I
she
saw
started it and finished it in the same day, and it'll take me a week to do that. I think for me it's just more trying to find the time, because during school, if I read on buses to and from school.
Do you read purely for entertainment because you enjoy the story, or do you also like things where you actually books where you learn something from them?
Well, the only books I read that I learn from them would be school books, and that's not enjoyable. So I read it for entertainment. Yeah.
I like the books that I got you guys. They're silly books this year. The ones just on the etymology of phrases. I think it's interesting. It's almost like also learning where things come from, the history. I think that stuff's kind of neat.
Yeah, but you also like all the really sciencey and psychological and philosophical books.
I do like that.
Hello. Hey, what you doing? Making a podcast. What are you doing?
It was awkward.
Yeah.
I do like that kind of stuff. I like learning. I like reading stuff and listening to stuff where you're learning. I very rarely listen to anything or read anything that's just purely entertainment. Whatever that is. I should learn to relax more.
Did you read when you were younger?
Not much, no. No. I mean, a little bit, but no. I was more into sports when I was younger. I was always doing something more active.
I'm sure if you
Uncle Todd read a lot, and so does Nana and Papa.
I'm sure if you did read when you were a kid, you would have read more, like, for pleasure.
I think if I also learned to read faster, that would help. I should take a speed reading course. I think reading is really important. I think it's phenomenally important to learn to read well, because then it also helps you gain more and more ideas. But you shouldn't just take the ideas of the author. You should think about them and then decide for yourself the ideas that you like and why not, and the ideas that you don't like and why not. But then as you're exposed to more and more ideas, then you learn more and more. And you also learn how to write and how to speak with good grammar, precision of speech.
Precision of language.
Precision of speech, of language. Yeah. So I think it's really important. Because then also you listen to other people speak, and especially when they're in places like I don't know, journalists or politicians or teachers, and then you recognize that they sometimes don't know how to speak. Well, actually, it just makes life a little bit frustrating because then not enough people are using good words, as in using their words well to convey their ideas. But then you also very much appreciate the people who do it well. And that's important. That's something to be respected, is when people can speak well. Because your words are your greatest weapon. And I don't mean a weapon necessarily for being offensive. I mean as far as just getting across your point and accomplishing a goal. So the reading becomes important for that. Literature. There's a guy named Jocko Wilkins. Something like that. It's Jocko something. Wilkinson, something like that. He's a motivational speaker now. But he was a former Navy SEAL. I think he was the head of his battalion, or whatever they call it. I don't know, not battalion. That's like a large group of people. His unit. But my understanding is that when he was in the army, before he increased in rank, he went and got a degree in English literature.
While he was in the army?
Yes. And why he did that was so that he could learn how to communicate. So he could learn how to make himself understood, and also to be able to understand what people are saying. And also he said that because the way he would write reports had a big impact on the men who were serving under him. As far as his ability to help people maybe get promotions, all kinds of things. And it's just because of the power of the written word. And so to understand that well, that's why I went to get that degree. Kind of cool. And then he ended up being, like, his unit, I don't know what they call it in Navy SEALs or whatever, but in his unit, I think he was the head guy. And I might be wrong on that part, but that's okay. You get the point.
Mm-hmm.
Words are important. It's kind of interesting, because you don't really think of an army guy getting a degree in English literature.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I just think of like the movie Jarhead. Yeah.
But how often do you get an opinion of somebody based on how they speak, whether that opinion be good or bad? Like, can you think of people, don't name names, can you think of people that as soon as they start speaking to you, your opinion of them either decreases or increases?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Do you?
Yeah.
No names. No names.
But yeah, you make when you first meet someone, you make stereotypes on them immediately. If you say you don't, then it's lying. It's what everyone does. You make a stereotype based on how they dress, how they hold themselves, how they walk, how they talk, when they talk. Like and when I say when they talk, I mean like if they're interrupting people, if they're talking constantly, if they don't talk a lot, like that type of stuff. You make stereotypes on everyone about everything, whether you mean to or not. It'll always be in the back of your head.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's good or bad to come up with these ideas or stereotypes, or you can even say elements of discrimination, whether the discrimination is in a positive or negative way?
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. Everyone.
It exists.
Yeah.
Okay? Whether you like it or not, it exists. Which then means, since it's there, then you should think about how you come across to other people. Therefore, your posture, how you dress, how you speak, your manners, all of these things. And that can be to your own advantage to be able to present yourself well.
For Christmas, he got my two brothers a book on, what was it called?
The art of manliness.
The Art of Manliness, and I was flipping through it, and it was just basically social etiquette, and it was just pages on pages of how to act. It was like how to be a good guest, and it's like bring food, like a little treat or a gift for a person staying at, bring money for groceries because obviously you're imposing on someone.
Did you take my phone?
Nope. And
Cameron had it. Cameron took it.
Why?
I think as he saw it, he probably meant to give it to you.
I
You don't have to.
So yeah, you got, and I thought that was interesting. And you've kind of like taught us that type of stuff since we were like kids, like just like basic etiquette, how to act. And I think it's funny that there's a book on it, but obviously there are people who don't know it.
I think it's a dying art.
Yeah.
I think there's not. I think there's a decreasing or diminishing population that are taught these things and also utilize these things. Like, for example, I noticed last night we had all these people over for dinner, right? And there was like nobody helping to clean up.
Yeah.
Right? It was just a few of us were cleaning up, and I'm standing there on crutches, and I'm, doing dishes, and nobody, like, it was just weird to me. It's like, and I've noticed it before when some people are there and they help and they pitch in. It's like you're really grateful for that. So therefore, also when you go to somebody else's house for dinner, you should also be finding out and just doing and taking initiative to get in there and help out. Right? These are all little things. It's part of that thing of that one thing in the New Testament that says treat others as you want to be treated. So always pay attention to that. Help do dishes, help set the table, help clear the table and things like that. And I was amazed at how many people there were over last night and nobody paid attention to that.
Yeah. It's like when we were at Nana and Papa's, so for the summer we went over to my grandparents' house and they live in Canada, so I don't see them like that often. And we were at their house for like 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks?
3 weeks. 2.5 weeks.
Because we also spent time at my great aunt's place.
True.
And yeah, so 2.5 weeks, and like every night after dinner, us kids, so me, my sister, and my brother, we would like help. What's it called?
Clean up.
And that's just like normal, I think. And you're gonna have to continue. I lost my train of thought.
Cleaning up. Etiquette.
Yeah. So if I'm staying over at someone else's house, or if you're imposing on someone else being at their house, getting stuff for them, it should be your first thought to be like, oh, I want to help clean up. I don't want to like be that much of a burden to someone else, because like if you're, I don't want to say that because it's mean and that's directly on someone in the house right now.
You'll never watch it.
So we have a house guest, and he stayed for Christmas, and I came down, and he was planning on staying for 2 weeks, but he's leaving on tomorrow now instead of the 2 weeks. Nothing happened. It's just like he's just gonna go stay with someone else because he's visiting Luxembourg, and he wants to see multiple families and stuff. And so he on his first day here, I came downstairs because I had just woken up and it was like 12 o'clock or something. It was holiday, and you had just finished making your lunch. It was like eggs and bacon and stuff. And then you were like, all right, now you can make your own because you're gonna be here for a while, so you're gonna make your own. And I came down, and then I went upstairs because I'd gotten my food, and then I came back down and I saw his dish in the sink, the tray, the pan, and I was like, yeah, really? Because I'd never do that. And I sent a photo to you of it. I was like, look at what our house guest left us. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah. But you know, all these things, they do have an impact on what people think. And so if you can affect the way they think of you in a positive manner, one, it just shows that you're being of good character anyway. And sometimes it means doing stuff that you don't want to do, but you still do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. And then it becomes habit the more you do it. But you can do this in all different kinds of ways. Like even when I'm at work, there's little things like I'm not sure if you've ever noticed if you've ever noticed this, but I only wear a solid color shirt to work.
I know.
No stripes, no dots.
I know.
No confusion. It's solid. And that's because I don't know how to explain this psychologically, but it's because there's no confusion. Right? And so I'm the expert. So there's no confusion. So it's just a solid color.
You've explained this to me before, and it's like if someone walks into your office to get adjusted, and you're wearing like a Hawaiian shirt or something, and you've like got all the things on. If I was that patient, I wouldn't take you seriously. But if you're wearing solid color, I think you'd look more professional than patterns. It's
precision in everything, right? I want to give an adjustment with precision. So you also have to look precise and sound precise. Right? It's sort of putting the whole package together so that you're not saying one thing and doing another. Yeah. And also every time somebody walks in my office, I shake everybody's hand. I look them in the eye. How you doing now? How you doing today? Yeah. That's right. But it's a habit.
Yeah, it's a good habit to get into.
Yeah.
I don't shake many people's hands. I think I can't remember the last person. I shake Chloe's hand a lot, but that's just like I don't think I shake anyone else's hand.
So reading books, that's something you wanted to do for this year. Was there anything else? Anything else you want to accomplish? Anything else you want to do?
I find I need to like kind of upgrade my studying, how I study.
How you study? You study a lot already. I think maybe just how, so you can cut it back a little bit.
That's exactly it. And because I'm in S4 now, I have a lot bigger tests on a lot more subjects, and every test is really important. So I want to be able to try and cut down my studying time without like not learning as much. Do you understand what I mean?
You want to learn as much in a smaller amount of time.
Yeah. Right. So the way I study now.
It's one thing you can be. It's efficient.
Yeah. The way I study now is I take the material I've done in class, my notes I make in class. I make note of that. I write everything down, and then I go over and over. And usually I'm the one helping my sister do it because I'm kind of more organized in that aspect. Like I'll jot the notes down before she's even I'll have the notes all done before.
I'm going to give you the number one tip to increase your retention of the information you learn. At the end of every class, just take 1 minute or 2 minutes and quickly read over all of the notes that you took. Just 1 or 2 minutes right after class before you get out of your chair. Everybody else gets up out of the chair, they chit chat a little bit before they go anywhere. You just quickly skim over your notes. And that's it. And then when you get on the bus, as soon as you get on the bus, skim over all your notes from each class that day. That'll take you 10 minutes.
Did you do that when you were in school?
Oh, heck no. And then, but that will help your retention a ton. So when you get home and you have to study anything, it's like you've already put it in your brain 3 times, right? Learning it first in class, a quick read right after each class, and then a quick read as soon as you get on the bus. So now you go over it maybe in a tiny bit more detail. It's easy, 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 easy. I wish I would have done that when I was in school.
But you got good grades, no?
I did, yeah. I did. But it was also one of those things where I probably could have done it with less time if I would have used a technique like that. Like that would have helped a lot. Big time.
Did you use that technique when you were in uni? Or have you just...
I think I learned it partway through university. If I was going to go back to school again, I would do it. That's what I do. But I'm looking forward to learning to play the cello, learning to knit.
To knit, yeah.
And I don't know what else. I also want to work on a few physical things. Rope flow. But also I was thinking of like, just as far as mobility and strength are concerned, to like bulletproof my knees and my hips and shoulders so I don't get injured, so I can be a beast on the rink. Playing hockey. Yeah.
That's funny because my ICT teacher from last year, he also said hacky.
Hockey. That's because that's the way we make fun of the Americans.
Yeah.
Hockey. Yeah. All right. Well, this is a good one for today. I think 21 minutes. That's already a lot.
And you gotta go in like
And we
half
can.
an hour.
Yeah. The hockey game starts now. Canada versus Finland. Watch half an hour before we take off.
Okay.
All right. We'll do these lots. Love you.
We gotta do that better. Hold on.